I wanted to show you. This is my wife here, and I'm living in this. I'm sitting in this house here, and sometimes I'm living here. There's my dog run away sometimes ago.
It's the low-tech version of a share.
Christoph, but I'm happy that you made it. You can read the calendar. I'm really impressed.
Yeah. Surprising things happen sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, you just started working. I mean, you just turned 18, so I know it's a little bit sometimes difficult to.
Yeah, Matthias, I guess we see again someday in person.
Unfortunately, I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
We tried, Christoph, but you didn't want to join us.
Sarah, just to let you know, we did this several times, and there are some insider jokes you probably can't follow.
Believe it or not, these Germans actually have a sense of humor.
I believe it.
Now, Germany, the German people not really known for, being hilarious people, and, over the course of history. But these guys are a bunch of Weisenheimers, so it makes it fun.
Oh.
Missing the biggest smartass of them all, which is Matt.
And he has more minutes because he's the employee of the owner of the company.
That would be above my pay grade, Maximin.
Said that during the last presentation.
Germany is the ultimate report I have.
There he is. No.
Oh, that's true.
Kelly, one question before. Do you have the presentations because the others sent you? I think I didn't send you by email, or can we share them for ourselves?
No, you can share them. I just wanted to have them as a backup in case anyone had technical difficulties. But it looked like you could share because you came on with the Vineyard site. So
there's a little button at the bottom that says share content. So you just push that.
Okay.
Yeah, if you want to test it out.
Okay.
Maximin, it doesn't matter if you share the screen or not. I mean.
Yeah, only one person can share at a time, though.
They're oversharing now.
Yeah, overshare.
Sharing is caring.
I hate when these guys overshare.
And then Kelly, I have to jump off at like 9:45.
Okay.
To start.
Oh, me too. Sorry.
I gotta go, but yeah, I'm sure we'll have everything running smooth, so that's fine.
Yeah, I think Chuck was going to jump on and intro me, but I don't know that for sure. So if he doesn't, I'll just launch it anyway. We've done this several times now, so we got the show down to science.
How many guests we have to expect today?
It's 4 states, so it's Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, and Delaware, Maryland, Virginia. Who am I missing?
DC.
Yeah. DC.
It should be about 50 people.
50 people, great.
Are you nervous, Christoph?
Yeah, I can count to 50. That's
It's 5-0, not just 5, right?
And there's Matt.
There's Matt.
Shit, he came.
At least there's the M for Matt. There he is.
Giedraitis.
The master of mayhem, Matt Giedraitis.
Matt's a little bit silent today.
You're muted.
It's the best day in my life.
You're muted, Matt.
You're easy to please, Maximin. Better.
Can we hear you?
I can now speak. I'm unmuted.
Yeah, I unmuted you. Remember, everybody, to go back on tweet after you're done speaking, so we don't get any feedback. Marie Sharp will be joining us today. Hi, Marie.
Hello, Marie.
Kelly, the sound is not that good, I think, from your side.
You as well. Hi.
Is it too echoey?
Yes.
Sorry?
The little
See if I can quickly rectify this.
Maximin, where's your police? Where's your police white?
say it again.
Wo ist dein Polizeilicht? Wo ist dein Polizeilicht?
So.
The people.
Funktioniert es nicht mehr. Denken.
Yeah.
Can I test sharing my screen since I'm first?
Yeah. There's a little button at the bottom.
Do we have to talk anything as well, or just show the presentations?
You just slide through. That's it. And you know, if you put some pictures of you in, that will be
Naked.
that will be a bad thing. Naked pictures of Philip will be a good thing for you.
Is this a little better?
For the feedback, you're going to want to have one person unmuted at a time once the presentation.
Okay. Can you all hear me good?
It's now
Yes.
Okay. Is it still echoey?
Hi, Alexander. Oh, yeah, I'll call you back.
Matthias is echoey, but that's just their gigantic facility there, maybe.
Yeah.
It's Matthias'
The
big
peak
ego.
serum is very large.
Matthias is trading at the moment.
He's sell. Buy Regeneron. Buy Regeneron.
Hessen is going down. Hessen is going down. Sell it off. Sell it off.
Sell. Nobody wants Rheinhessen. Oh no! What happened this year? Buy more horns. Buy more ground horns. We're running out of ground horns. We need more goats.
Right. Right. Christoph, have you been to the post office today?
Yeah, another question or next question? Yeah, but Saturday is always the best day to go to home.
So Sarah, are we starting right at 9:15?
I'm going to let you, yeah, we should be, but I'm going to watch the participant list, and then once we're at
A reasonable amount?
once we're at
What's that?
Sharpening pencils.
Yeah.
Nicolas, don't be nervous that Marie Charlotte is watching.
Great winemakers, by the way.
Her father.
right now.
I already
boss.
know,
I mean,
the
it's-
papers from Wilhelm, Matt. It's okay. It's okay.
I mean,
I'm already out.
At this point, I was going for a walk at Sunday. That was a very beautiful view when you could look down here. See this?
Barely.
Excellent. Can you afford bigger pictures or?
uh,
Oh, you know, bigger.
Yes.
Who's on the phone on the computer?
so that's a shot at you, sadly.
Oh.
Christoph, I still haven't received my present from you.
Oh, what have I promised?
I mean, I called Oliver Haag and arranged for him to show up in your absence. Did I get you in more trouble by doing that? And that's why I didn't get the present.
Let's talk about later on.
All right.
Well, good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing today?
We're doing awesome. How about yourself?
Oh, it's another rainy day in Richmond, man. I mean, what can you ask for? You know, I had to get away from all the sunshine down in Florida. Now I'm in rain and 50-degree weather. It's fabulous.
Well, it's still 92 degrees and 100% humidity, so we're screaming right into fall as normal.
Wah, wah.
Exactly.
Oh, that must really affect your golf game, that humidity.
Well, guys, listen, I'm going to get us going here because we've got a day packed full of presentations and stuff. First off, thank you, everybody, for being on here on a Friday, and I appreciate this. This ought to be really cool. I've met some of these producers when I was over in Germany with Kelly, and this should be a lot of fun. So at first, I'm going to have Kelly introduce them all, and I'm going to introduce Kelly Richardson, which I think we all know and all love. Lozen is a huge partner with us at Winebow, and it's somebody we need to continue to grow and pay attention to. And that's kind of where we're at here with it. So Kelly wanted to do this. I thought it was a fun format. We're going to ask some questions with some prizes later. So be sure to pay attention, guys, and let's get started. Kelly, after you.
All right. Thank you, Chuck, and good morning, Mid-Atlantic. I hope you all had your coffee this morning because this is going to move pretty quickly. I have 5 of our properties being represented here today. We are going to give each person 5 minutes to give you 5 bullet points. After they are all finished with that, I am going to ask 5 questions. If you get them right, you will get a lovely parting gift. How we're going to do this technologically today is if you have the answer to the question I ask, simply put it in the chat box. If you're the first one to come up with the answer, then you win the lovely prize. So we are going to start with our producers. We're going to work from south to north, and we will start rolling right now with our very own Giedraitis. And a fun fact about Matt is that he likes puppies and long walks by the river. Matt, take it away.
Kelly, thank you. I know this is 5 for 5, but my boss owns the company, so I get a little bit longer than 5 minutes. So I'm going to share my screen, and then I'm going to take off. Can you see my screen? Kelly? Can you see? Yes?
We can see, yeah.
All right. So I'm going to start playing, and then we're just going to go. So this is Villa Wolf. Ernst Lozen took over in 1996. This is a top view from our drone. You could see here is a U-shaped form. There's actually private housing right here. The winery is on the left-hand side. Ernst took over in 1996. The winery was founded by Johann Ludwig Wolf, hence the name Wolf. And he was born in 1777, was reportedly one of the richest people in the area. We renamed it after this estate house, Villa Wolf, because there's no Wolf family member working here anymore. The house was finished in 1843. Also, being involved in the Pfalz allowed Ernst Lozen to get involved in other varietals that were not Riesling, for example, Pinot Gris, Pinot Noir, Gewürztraminer, etc. And they don't have a tradition on the Mosel. Here you see, if you were to go left here, France is that way. The Vosges Mountains turn into the Hart Mountains right here. This vineyard is the Pechstein, the Forst de Pechstein. The village of Forst is over here. Pechstein is the name of the vineyard. If you keep going here, right there, you see our Wachenheimer beds. You notice a trend. ER means belonging to. So Forst de Pechstein, Wachenheimer beds. ER is like New Yorker or Londoner. It just means belonging to. And for example, if you were to look at the Pechstein, village, vineyard. Very simple in Germany, village, vineyard. If you just remember the ER means belonging to. Then you see also the village of Wachenheim right there. So Wachenheimer, we have a Wachenheimer Riesling, and we also have Wachenheimer Goldbeschel, Wachenheimer Belz. The Belz is now 100% Pinot Noir. It used to be Riesling, but there's limestone soil. And if you know anything about limestone soil, it does very well with Pinot Noir. There's the Wachtenberg. It dates back to around the 1100s. Bam. Now we go to the presentation. This is, let me get here. Sorry, Control L, full screen not working. It's taking me out of here. So hold on, I got to do old school full screen. All right, this is the Villa Wolf estate. As I mentioned, here's a ground level shot. If we go here, look on the map, here's the Mosel, here's the Pfalz. This is about a 2-hour drive. If Ernst Losen is driving, it's maybe about an hour and 15-minute drive. Anybody that's driven with him could probably vouch for that. Here's the Pfalz. You see the Alsace. I mentioned the Vosges Mountains going into the Hart Mountains. You also see the Alsace has a tradition for Pinot Gris, Gewürz, Pinot Noir, Pinot Blanc. So you see we have a very similar tradition in the Pfalz. What I want to cover today, I've covered some of this already. You can see the founding. You can see the 1843 is when the house came into, was finished. Pfalz versus Mosel, I'll show you about the difference between the slopes, the temperature, etc. Pfalz has more of a tradition to produce more full-bodied wines, more dry style. Definitely very important to know what varietals we have in the Pfalz. And also, because we have the varietals, we have a lot of options for by the glass. Don't forget, Germany is also the 3rd most planted area of Pinot Noir in the world. 1 is France, 2 is America. Again, Germany is the 3rd most planted area of Pinot Noir. Do not forget that. We also have begun the process of becoming organically certified. And I think you also know our clean labels help people read German labels, which sometimes are not so easy to read. Quickly, you can see flat vineyards. There's the winery, flat vineyards, flat vineyards. The reason I'm telling you this is because you can see we have a classification map. This classification map is from 1828. The Bavarian government did a classification. The dark spots are technically what you would say great sites, Grand Cru, great growth, whatever you want to call them. Then the more yellow would be the next sites. And then these would be basically village level. So we have the Forst de Pechstein, which is one of our top sites, which would be the equivalent of the French Grand Cru. And there's the Wachenheimer beds. We have basalt and limestone. You see on the Mosel, we have more slate. So blue slate, whereas the Rhine riverbed is where the Pfalz is located. Here, you have mostly sandy soil. So flat vineyards compared to the Mosel, steep. We also have a classification map from the Mosel, and I'm sure somebody from the Rheingau will claim that their map is older. You might hear that later on today. This is from 1868. You see these dark spots here. The dark spots show you the top sites. They're generally close to the river, steep slopes. As you know, with the slate soil, you get a lot of this minerality. But here you notice the Pfalz map. If I go back, the Pfalz map, these are not south-facing, whereas the Mosel, they are south-facing. These are more east-facing slopes. So on the Mosel, because it's farther north and a cooler climate, we need the south-facing to be right. We started a contract to be organic, and that started 2019. In 2022 will be our first certified year. 2021 and 2020 are test years. Generally, we make our wines in stainless steel, but half roughly of our Pinot Noir is in barrels and stainless steel. We also do Pinot Gris. And if you were to compare the Pfalz and the Mosel, generally the Pfalz and the Mosel has more precipitation. We're seeing a lot of rain this year. The Pfalz harvested earlier. The Mosel is still harvesting, but we're seeing a lot of rain. Pfalz is much larger. Varietals very similar to the Alsace and the Pfalz. The Mosel has mostly mostly Riesling. And then I mentioned the soil as well. And sorry, I just got to stop there. And then Pinot Gris, we generally tend to use large oak barrels, stainless steel. We also use some cement for the Pinot Gris. It gives us a lot of complexity. There's my children helping in 2018. Here you can see the beautiful Pinot Noir fruit from the Belz vineyard. You guys know the wines quite well, I'm sure. I took a quick look at Trade Pulse. Number 1 selling for you guys is the Pinot Noir Rosé. Number 2, Pinot Gris. Number 3, Gewürztraminer. And number 4 is the dry Riesling. Kelly.
Why, thank you, Matt. That was a very fun facts about the Pfalz, and that was very illiterate of me. So, moving on to the Rheinhessen, we have Matthias, microclimate Müller, and Matthias likes old movies and Negronis. Matthias, take it away for us, please.
Hey, Kelly. Thanks for introducing me. Let's get started with the presentation about our estate, Wittmann. I hope everybody sees my screen. Kelly? Yeah, perfect. Yeah, we're Weingut Wittmann, established in 1663, so quite a big and long history. And as you might know, we're doing only organic wine. So we're working organically since since 1988, so for more than 30 years now. and we're located in the southwestern part. So it's about, if Ernie drives, like Matt says, about 20 minutes north of Villa Wolf, so a little bit further north in Rheinhessen, what the region is called. It's close to the River Rhine, and Rheinhessen is the largest of all those wine growing areas in Germany. And Rheinhessen is really well known for limestone soil, so pretty much the same soil type as Burgundy. We do not have much rain, so that's why it's for us pretty easy to do organic, and even since 2003, biodynamic viticulture. When we look at Westhofen, the village we're located, we do have different single vineyards, and we're pretty proud of 4 Grand Cru vineyards, certified Grand Cru vineyards, what we have in Westhofen. And in general, we're doing 75% Riesling. So the estate itself, we're really a Riesling estate, but on limestone, as you know, it's not only Riesling what grows really well, as well Pinot Noir especially, which is a big hit in the US, as well as the Pinot Blanc, for example. And as I said, we're doing organic since 1990 officially, and biodynamic since 2004, and we're doing about 30 hectares in total. When you look at the family, it's Philip's mom and father on the left-hand side, and his wife Eva and himself. He's running the estate since about 2000. So it's his 20th vintage now. We're really happy with the latest results we got. We stopped harvesting about 2 weeks ago, and the grapes look really, really beautiful. And I guess 2020, the vintage will be something between 2018 and 2019 when we look at the aroma profile and the acidity levels. Just to give you a quick info about how it looks like, this is the estate. All the buildings were built in the 1950s. We renovated and rebuilt something like the pressing house here in 2004. It's still family owned. So no investing company or whatever who's in charge of. It's still owned by the Wittmann family. And this is a look on the beautiful Moorstein vineyard, Grand Cru vineyard. Some grapes from this year's harvest. And still it's manual work. So we do not harvest anything by machines. It's still done by people. We're about 30 people harvesting by hand. Which is really important for us, having only the best grapes without botrytis, without any rotten berries, which is super, super important for us. And then after we crush the grapes a little bit and we're doing skin contact for about 6 to 8 hours, we drive it down to the presses and press it for about 2 hours, very, very gently. And after the pressing, after sedimentation, all the juice comes down the cellar from 1829, so quite an old cellar, and it's all fermented and vinified mostly in big oak casks, as you see. So it's mostly French oak, different sizes from 600 liters, what we call Stückfass, up to 300 liters, and we only using really old casks for the Riesling. So we don't want this oaky character for Rieslings. For us, it's for the texture and the micro-oxidation of the wines. And afterwards, it stays on the leaves for about up to 7-8 months. And this is, again, a small slide about the biodynamic and organic viticulture, what we're doing. For us, it just helps us to make it short, harvesting even better grapes and getting better quality. So we're not super crazy dancing our names around the bonfire. It's more about, on the one hand, saving the environment, and on the other side, organic and biodynamic viticulture helps us getting just better grapes and better quality at the end of the day. Passion, not only, it's more about passion about drinking than working, actually, I guess, at the estate, but yeah, who's blaming us for that? And a small map about the classification as well. You see the green parts. This is where the estate Riesling, for example, comes from. So different vineyards from different sites. And then we have the gray part, which is Premier Cru, and the dark blue spots, which are the Grand Cru sites, which are Brunnenhäuschen, Moorstein, Kirchspiel, and Aulerde. Yeah, this is again the classification of Rheinhessen. And for all of the VDP estates here, it's pretty much the same as Burgundy. So we start with the estate wines, Village, Premier Cru, and Grand Cru. So it's a copy of the Burgundy system. And some facts about our wines and what is available in the US. It's for sure the 100 Hills Riesling and our estate wines. So especially the estate Riesling the Pinot Noir, and for sure the famous Westhofener Riesling, and as well definitely the Morstein, which just got 100 points from James Suckling. Yeah, thanks, Kelly. This is still the old one. It's from 2018, but we just released the 2019 Morstein. So we're pretty happy. We drank a couple of bottles of champagne after that. And yeah, thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Matthias, and congratulations on that 100-point rating. That was pretty awesome. Now we are going to go rocking in the Rheingau with our own Nicolas Nobelrot Pfaff. And Nicolas likes nights along the river and dancing. Nicolas, take it away for us, please.
Good morning to everyone. Some of you probably have met me in the past. Might have been a pleasure or not, depends on you. Great to have you all here today. I'm quickly opening my presentation. I'm sitting here in the old estate room today. Old estate in the Rheingau, and now we go. Everyone seeing it? Kelly, you see it? I think so. Okay, so Robert Weil, we are now on the good side of the Rhine River. We are on the right bank of the Rhine River in the Rheingau. And as you see in the background, in gray, our estate house. And for us, really important is the origin of quality is for us the combination of tradition and modern times. For us, we are traditional winery in the Rheingau, but we also want to make modern, elegant Rieslings. So where are we exactly located? You see here a map of Germany, and you can see the red dot here, Weingut Robert Weil. And you see Stuttgart here, and you already heard about Rheinhessen. So we are a little bit more north compared to Wittmann and to Willerwolf in the Rheingau. And we're coming a little bit closer. And what you see is we are super close to Frankfurt. Frankfurt is about half an hour. So if there's the chance again to come to Germany, please come by. It's only half an hour, so a very, very easy place to come to. So we are really here on the right bank of the Rhine River, and as you can see, our estate is not directly located at the Rhine River. It's more up in the hills, about 2 miles up, and with a cooler climate, but I will come back to that later. So we start a little bit with our history, and on the left hand, you can see our founder. He was Dr. Robert Weil. He was not originally a winemaker. He was a professor for German at the University of Sorbonne in Paris. You can see not really typical a winemaker. He is holding books, so more an intellectual, but he had the right connections. And so very soon after the estate was started, we became quite famous. And the reason for that, you can see here in the middle. This is the 1893 Kietricher Berg Auslese. This was a wine that we sold to the English court, to the Russian court, to the German court, and even to the Austrian court. And furthermore, the price was pretty great. It was 16 gold marks. 16 gold mark, for those of you who are not familiar with that currency, would be today around 800 euros per bottle. So a really great price, and one of the wines that were high, that people really were after. And what you also have to keep in mind, Chateau Lafite, Chateau Latour, those wines were only half the price. And on the right, this guy is not a family member. He is Wilhelm II, the last emperor of Germany, and he was a big admirer of Robert Weil. And if you can see me later on the video again, or right now, you can see I'm sitting behind the old lunch menus of this guy who had a really good taste. He drank Robert Weil, he drank Mutter Rothschild, he drank Heidsieck champagne, Tokai just for lunch. So it was a really good lunch table in any case. So the history, of course, continued. You can see young Wilhelm, the second generation, sitting on the so-called Kaiserwein, on the wine for the emperor on the left. And on the right, and I go a little bit more closer to that, you can see on the left Wilhelm as an older man together with his son Robert. And then you can see Robert with his wife Carola as the third generation. And I think you already see the Weil family has a kind of a system with the names. And so today in charge is again Wilhelm Weil, the great grandson of the founder. And you can see him smiling in front of the 2018 wines, which were greatly rated. And also the 2019 wine, similar like Wittmann, we got amazing ratings. 2019 is definitely a wonderful vintage. And something that you can definitely see is something that we stand for, our Tiffany Blue label that we have, a label that Wilhelm introduced in 1988, which has been pretty much unchanged in all those years, and definitely something that stands out on the table. So I already pointed out a little bit, we are on the hillside vineyards in the Rheingau. So we are in a place with cooler climate, which used to be a big disadvantage for our founder. And you can see here again, this is the manor house. And then we are surrounded by vineyards. Here in the background, you can see one of our Premier Crus, Klosterberg. And then on the other, you have Turmberg, our monopole vineyard, which is marked by this big tower. And this is where the name is coming from, because Turmberg means Tower Hill. And then directly opposite of the winery is Gräfenberg, our Grand Cru vineyard, Hill of the Counts, where we make our most prestigious wines. Then Matt already told you we have a little bit an older classification as those guys in the Pfalz. This is the classification map from Rheingau from 1867, the oldest existing classification map today. This classification already rated our vineyards as first and second class. So we only have really high class vineyards for a very, very long time. So one of them, as I said, is Gräfenberg. Gräfenberg is definitely our most renowned vineyard site. It's for us a perfect symbiosis between slate, which you find in all our vineyards, and Les and Loam. So in Gräfenberg, we make up to 5 different wines from Riesling. We are making a dry wine, the Großes Gewächs. We make the Spätlese, we make the Auslese, Beerenauslese, and Trockenbeerenauslese. We have all these different styles of Riesling. We are 100% Riesling Chateau. We take pride in these 100% Riesling because we believe Riesling is perfect for us. It's Rheingau is Riesling, Riesling is Rheingau, and it's just a tailor-made varietal for our vineyards. Of course, if you want to make 31 consecutive vintages of Trockenbeerenauslese, which we are the only producer to ever achieve that, you have to work hard in the vineyards first, which we do, especially during the harvest times, with up to 17 passes in the vineyards. But then also you can see here in the middle, also with halving the bunches, with selective harvest, we are doing a lot in the vineyards to make sure we only pick the best possible grapes for each individual Riesling. So we're making 20 different Rieslings. And as a reminder, 100% Riesling at Robert Weil Estate, everything estate fruit and grown within 2 miles around the winery. Then we come to the, I'm almost finished, Kelly. Sorry. And then in the cellar, we are using stainless steel as well as the oak barrels. Oak barrels are reserved for the dry wines from Premier Crus and Grand Crus, while all the TBAs, BAs, and Spätlese wines, they are all coming from the stainless steel tank. And that's for me. I'm a little bit over time. I know, Kelly. Thanks for being patient with me, and enjoy your weekend. I hope all of you are staying healthy and safe.
Thank you, Nicolas. That was awesome. And I wasn't trying to switch you off the stage, but we do need to keep it moving on. So we're going to move right into the Mosel. And I will like to introduce you to our producer that's on this video, Maximin Must-Wait von Schubert. And Maximin likes boar hunting and long car rides. Fun fact about Maximin. Maximin, please take it away.
Thank you, Kelly. Good morning or good evening after gentlemen and ladies. We in the Mosel, we have to work a little longer and a little harder than in other more southward regions, so we are still harvesting. I'm in my harvest mood. 5 weeks or 4.5 weeks we are already harvesting, and it's another 6 days. So I'm a bit tired in the afternoon, but you guys just, you're the people of the rising sun, so you're a little bit more energetic. Anyways, I quickly show you through the estate. I hope some of you had the chance already to visit us. That is the estate. It's called Maximin Grünhuas. So it's an old monastery of Holy Man Maximin, and then after Napoleon, it was secularized and taken away from the church, and then after some years, we could actually, my great-great-great-grandfather could purchase the estate. So I'm the 6th generation now, together with my wife, running the estate. On the left, you see the castle. On the right, the cellar house and the press house, which is quite beautiful because here you see the cellar house again, and directly opposite of that, it's the vineyard called Abtsberg. So we have 3 single vineyards, Bruderberg, Herrenberg, and Abtsberg, which is the drinking hierarchy from the monastery. Bruder is the brother, Herrenberg is the choir master, and Abtsberg is the abbot. It's all steep slate, and Abtsberg a little bit more bluish slate. So here you see at the bottom again the cellar house and the castle. Buderberg is the farthest right. It's a southeast arena. It's the smallest, only 1 hectare. And then on the top, it's Herrenberg, which is covered by the forest and trees. As you see, it has the best water supply, also nutrient supply. It's a reddish slate. And then in the middle is Absberg with 14 hectares. So in the total, the estate is 34 hectares. It's all monopole owned. And it's all Grand Cru classified, and it's probably the oldest estate, because Trier has been in Roman time the capital of the Roman Empire, which dates back quite a long time. That is the newest part of the cellar, which was built by my great-grandfather in 1902. It's the perfect spot to work in still. So there you see we are working with a fooder, which is 1,000-liter oak barrels. The oak we chop in our own forest, in stainless steel in the same dimension, and we are not critical with either or. We are always trying to cheer the wine and bring the levels forward. Here you see the Riesling pyramid. So you saw the Gutswein, QBA Trocken, or called Monopol, and then Ortswein and the GGs. But there's even more to cover and to find out in Mosel. So there's the off-dry region, which is the entry-level called Maximin, and up to Superior. And on the right side, you see the fruity or sweeter style of Cabernet Spätlese Auslese, which is very classic for Mosel, and some Rheingau people try to do this as well. Here you see on a picture how we select. So that was a perfect day, and that's not the normal day, but it's a beautiful picture because you can understand quite well on one picture what's happening. At the bottom in the orange case, you see totally clean fruit, which is for the dry wines. Between these two grape pickers, you see grapes where there's a little bit of Noberrot inside, so that's probably Spätlese Auslese Qualität. And then you see in the little silver sauce bin the Botrytis berries for noble wines like Beerenauslese and Trockenbeerenauslese. And normally we harvest several times in a row, but in this situation, it's the best picture to explain how we define it. Then Kelly made me introduce this picture. That's not our dog. It's a little wild boar we found in a yard, because it's so steep. It was falling down and rolling down into the front yard of somebody who called me and wanted me to pick it up. And that's my 2 sons who never saw a wild boar before. But you have to trust me. We released it. Actually, it was too small to eat. Yeah, that's a very short way of what we is. So Maximin Grünhuas is for sure one of the most classic estates. We have a very blessed piece of land there, and we are proud to have a very, very highly recognizable style of wines in the Trocken, but also in the fruity part. And I hope to see you one day, and I hope you all get through this in the best way. And I hope to see Kelly at some point again. So thank you very much, and have a good day.
Thank you, Maximum. Well, currently, Americans are not allowed to leave the country, and if so, we have to be accompanied by an adult. So we hope to get over and see you soon too, Maximum, and we're going to move a little further into the Mosel with our own Christoph cover crop Brandl, who is representing for us today, Fritz Haag. And Christoph likes reading books and smooth jazz. Christoph, take it away, my friend.
Thank you, Kelly, for your kind introduce. I'm Christoph Brandl, export manager at Fritz Haag Wine Estate, and I'd like to give you a little overview in the next minutes about the estate and the wines itself. I'm doing that in a more analog way, so you don't have to expect in a presentation something like this. I've got some stuff here to show you, and I wish you some fun with my semi-developed talent to address an audience, but I think we will have a good time. So I start with some general facts. Fritz Haag was founded, or maybe I show you first of all the label. I'm quite sure you've seen that so many years. Fritz Haag was founded in 1605, which is more than 400 years ago, and so you can easily talk about a German icon in the wine world. And throughout all these centuries, which, as we all know, were a mix of good and devastating times in Europe, the family focus was always set on three things. The first one is Riesling. Not surprising, here in the Mittelmosel, Riesling dominates more or less totally the surface, the area. Second thing is Brauneberg, which is the name of the village where the winery today is located and ever was. And Brauneberg is a tiny village, and I just kidding a bit, 300 inhabitants and 600 wineries. It seems like this. When you drive through the streets, there's one winery next to each other. And but it's a common sense that the best one is Fritz Haag. So third thing is, are the two Grand Cru vineyards of Brauneberg. I'm sure when I tell you the names, it's the Juffer and the Juffer Sonnenuhr. You won't be able to write it down. I show it later to make it more clear. We made the experience that I have to show it a bit more intense. So this is the focus of the family through the times. We produce all kinds of Riesling. So we can, or we offer often dry ones, of course, which is a tendency to produce a bit more of that as in former times. Off-dry, some kind of a niche, but excellent quality. And maybe the fruity wines and the noble rot wines for what the wineries is very famous through all the times. And that's what we are doing. We don't buy any grapes, which is important to notice. If you ever have a Fritz Haag wine in your glass, you can count on that it's handpicked and made by Oliver Haag himself. So the owner is also the producer. I show you a little picture. I'm quite sure you know there is one guy who's a bit older. This is Wilhelm Haag, this guy. And next to him, his son, Oliver Haag. Both are great and gifted guys in kind of winemaking. Wilhelm Haag was in charge since the early 50s. He was in charge for more than 50 vintages and gave all its experience to Oliver. And you can taste that in the wines, which show a great consistency and quality in each vintage. So these guys, if you ever met him, doesn't matter who, both are very funny, got a high temper. So it's always interesting to meet these guys. So come to Germany when it's possible again. Let's do some words about the vineyards, the viticultural aspects. We own about 25 hectares. All is planted with Riesling. We produce about 130,000 bottles. It's a lot. It's a lot to produce, and 25 hectares. We are on the limit to do that, and to have some free time. As Maximin said, the Mosel is a bit more intense in kind of work. That's a fact. The wines grow on blue slate. Blue slate stands, and that is a common sense, stands for the most precise, most elegant types of Riesling we get out here of Germany. And if you ever have it in your glass, you will notice that. 100% steep slopes, of course. We only own steep slopes, all the 25 hectares, from 40 to 75 degrees of angle. So that means I'm not a math teacher, but if you jump 2 meters in front of you in the steepest parts, you fall 10 down. So the times are over when our workers got a bottle of wine in the morning. It's too dangerous there to do that anymore. 100% handpicked. I told you that. And very important thing about the vineyards is our soil is just, or the subsoil is just 0.5 meter till 1 meter. That's nothing in the end, and it's a mix of 60-70% of cracked slate and some organic remains from the years before, old leaves and the cutted wood parts, and that's it. So the wines and the roots of the wines, they have to go very deep into the solid rock to get their water out of there, because this subsoil dries out in 2, 3, 4 weeks. It's totally dried out then. But we don't suffer on dryness, or the wines don't suffer on that, because there's always water to find in the cracky slate soil below. You know what I mean? I'm sure you know what I mean. So yeah, the 2 Grand Cru sites of Brandl, just a short excursion. Now I know how you can write it. I hope we can see that. Can you see that? No, we can't see that.
It's a little difficult.
Yes, there it is. So you can read it, Juffer. You don't need to say Brandl Juffer, just call it Juffer. There's only one Juffer in the world. It's that one, the Juffer. The bigger size, 30 hectares. And the Juffer Sonnenuhr. Can you see that? I think so. The smaller Grand Cru, which is just 10 hectares, which is the main reason for the price difference between these 2 wines. Because everybody knows it's a Grand Cru, it's the highest classification in Germany. The smaller the Grand Crus, the more expensive the wines. We don't make a difference in kind of quality. For us, they are both on the same level. So you can expect great wines from both Grand Cru vineyards. Yeah, what's left to say about Juffer Sonnenuhr? So we had some famous drinkers in during the times. Thomas Jefferson was one. He wrote whole essays about the Brandl. I think he was an ambassador in his time. Good guy. Not that peaceful was Napoleon. Napoleon raided over Germany some years, and yeah, but he was also a great fan of it. But maybe he spent all the wines for his soldiers. I don't know. Yeah, 5 words for the style of the Fritz Haag wines. First one is elegance. And this is also common sense. If you ever ask wine professionals in Germany, Fritz Haag wines are some of the most elegant wines you can get. Riesling wines. Second one, purity. Purity is absolutely great because of that water story I told you. You know, it's rich mineral water which the roots are drinking. That's it, and that makes the purity. Freshness. Freshness is because of that. In our case, we have a mix of maturing the wines in the cellar of stainless steel. We have classic Mosel Fuder of 1,000 liter and 500 liter French tonneaus as some kind of a sidekick. But you don't not really mention the wooden influence in the wines as some kind of a taste. It's just little components, I guess. Yeah. And minerality, of course. 4th point, minerality is absolutely great, which is very, very connected to the blue slate. All these things, and this is the 5th point, yeah, are perfect in balance. That's what I want to say. All the things are perfect in balance, and that makes some kind of a mystery of Fritz Haag, the balance of the wines. So that's it. Yeah, what have I forgotten? We not really suffer from the climate change. I want to give you some words on that, because the Mosel benefits a bit from that. The wines give you a great opportunity to pair it with food because of the more complexity they got during the last 10, 15, 20 years. That's true. It's not only apple, lemon stuff like this. It's much more yellow fruit and exotic compounds. Absolutely a beneficial situation. Although it gets much drier through the years, of course. Yeah, but best thing, you don't need something to pair next to the wines. Drink it as standalone wines. They are perfect for that. You can drink them endlessly. I give you a guarantee. There are not that much annoying things in these wines. It's a pure pleasure, and I hope I could make that a bit more clear for you, and makes it more easy for you to sell the wines to your customers. Yeah, thanks for listening, and I wish you all the best for the next month and years, and maybe we'll see you in person someday.
Thank you, Christoph. That was awesome. Okay, so now we are in the question round. I'm going to ask 5 questions from each producer. They gave you this fun fact somewhere along the line, so we'll see who is paying attention. If you have the answer to the question, just put it in the chat box, and if Dusty can help me monitor the chat box so we can see who won first, we will give you a lovely parting gift. So here's the first question. Germany has the 3rd largest planted area globally for what varietal? Dusty, do we have a winner? I saw a lot of people chime in.
Yeah, there's a bunch of people on here. Everybody's saying Pinot Noir, and everybody's coming in at like 9:56. So.
All right. Well, it is Pinot Noir, and we will choose an appropriate winner when we can get this all sorted out.
I mean, I guess the first person that came on would be Josh Wright, but I don't know if this chat box actually goes from the first person or if it's just recording by timestamp.
I think it is the person that answered. We'll give it to Josh because he was at least on the job with answering one of the first times. So. Questions are going to get tougher as we move along. How long has Wittmann been organic? It looked like John weighed in on first. Dusty, did you see?
Yeah, I mean, there's just a ton of people on here. Hold on.
Well, it's great that they're paying attention. We might have to give a little something extra in everybody's Christmas stocking this year.
Yeah. I guess, I don't know. I can't tell.
It looks like John to me. So we'll go ahead and, again, we'll put a little something extra in everybody's stocking who answered. All right. So which varietals are grown at Robert Weil? And Nicolas, you're not allowed to answer your own question.
Müller.
I did see Riesling. Riesling is the correct answer.
Oh, that's wrong.
And it looked like Lucien was the one that got in there first.
Woohoo, Lucien! Woohoo!
All right, this one's a little bit more tricky. What are the 3 vineyard names at Grünhuas? Yes.
They have to be spelled correctly in the chat room, Kelly.
Lucien Walsh again.
Is on fire.
How many Grand Cru vineyards does Fritz Haag have? I'm going to have to give it to, it looks like John. Nope, sorry, it looks like Ian won. All right, and here's a bonus question. Who is your favorite wine supplier? All right, John gets it again.
Is that a trick question, Kelly?
I just want to thank everybody that came in and participated today. I hope that it was a little bit fun and a little bit different. I'm trying not to make it too boring. And I also want to thank all of our producers for taking the time in their German schedule to jump on board and give us a little bit of fun education. If anybody has a question, feel free to text me or write me or email me. Smoke signals work too. I hope everybody had a good time, and we are out of here today. And have
Thanks,
a
Kelly.
gentlemen.
Thank you, Kelly.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Stay safe, MidAtlantic. Good job, Kelly.